The competency of a high-profile Danville murder suspect is called into question. What happened in court coming up.
One man is dead after a shooting in southeastern Kentucky. Why police there believe the victim was targeted.
The Somerset Police Department is the first police department in the state of Kentucky authorized to use unmanned aircraft.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good afternoon. A murder case against a man accused of killing 3 people inside a Boyle County pawn shop is moving forward.
Today, a judge declared and decided that the suspect, Kenneth Allen Keith, is competent to stand trial. The Pulaski County pastor is accused of murdering Michael and Angela Hawkinsmith and Daniel Smith in September of 2013. Bill Pendleton tells us what is next in the case in our top story at 5:30.
The hearing took place behind closed doors with the victims' families, the family of the suspect, and the news media all kept out. I was told it was simply a confidential matter between Keith and his doctor. Shuffled in under high security, Kenneth Allen Keith was quickly moved to closed quarters where a judge would decide if he's competent to stand trial.
And although I can't get into the details of the hearing, there is an order forthcoming which will order that Mr. Keith is competent.
It means Keith will stand trial now for the deaths of Michael and Angela Hawkinsmith and Daniel Smith. The husband and wife and gold broker were all gunned down inside the Danville pawn shop. Keith is also facing a robbery charge.
We're glad on behalf of the family of the victims to move forward. Obviously, they understand that this is a process and it does take some time, but they would like closure in the entire situation. We're coming up on 2 years soon.
And because of the fact that Keith once again has a relatively new set of attorneys, it could be some time before we know a trial date. A status hearing has been set for the 1st of September. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The prosecutor says it will be at least the beginning of next year before that trial starts. He says it will be a death penalty case.
Police say an eastern Kentucky man was leaving for work when someone shot and killed him. The Clay County Sheriff's Department says it happened about 8 this morning in the Goose Rock community south of Manchester. Jennifer Palumbo is at the live desk with a story that's new at 5:30. Jennifer?
Amber, the Clay County Sheriff says someone targeted 24-year-old Trevor Dykes and shot him multiple times. Family members say Dykes was a father who loved his job working on cars at Hot Rod Service Center. They say he was leaving his home to go to work today when someone killed him.
Just loved his family. He had 2 kids, loved them. He had a girlfriend, loved her.
Deputies continue to search for clues in the murder. The sheriff says they are interviewing several people of interest in the case. So far, no arrests have been made, but the sheriff says he hopes to file charges soon. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
Jennifer, thank you. Investigators are looking into whether a child custody battle was a motive for that murder.
The rain has returned. We've seen some showers and storms pop up across the region so far today.
And the chance for storms will be sticking around. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking some rounds of showers in an early look at your forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hey, guys. Steam and storms. Where have we heard that one before, huh? Pretty much our July in a nutshell. High humidity levels, temperatures that are near normal, and yep, some of those storms that are on the move. Areas in the 80s again this afternoon. Some of us again coming in with a cooler than normal temperature day because of some clouds, because of those scattered showers and storms. But again, most areas into the mid and upper 80s as of now. Defender picking up on the scattering. This time of year, when you start to look at a radar, you start to see the little hodgepodge of stuff that is showing up across the entire area. Greatest concentration from just to the northwest of Moorhead into parts of southeastern Kentucky along the Mountain Parkway corridor into Wolfe County. They've had some heavier rains. Steady little thunderstorm on the Wayne and McCreary County line. And look at Pulaski County. One little shower here, 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 here. You've got them kind of all over the place across parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky, and that's the trend. As we go through the evening, you get in on 1 or 2 of those little showers and storms. Now we're going to continue with the steam and the storms, guys. Some better weather is on the way before we say goodbye to July. 7-day forecast coming up here in about 10 minutes.
Chris, thank you. Firefighters in Scott County are investigating after a fire destroyed an empty house. Around 1 this morning, firefighters were called to a home on Indian Creek Road in Sadieville after neighbors reported hearing an explosion. Neighbors tell us the owner of the burned down home is 54-year-old William Dillon, a man who is currently in jail on meth charges. But they say several people keep showing up at the house. Firefighters have not yet said what started that fire.
State police are investigating what caused a collision between a train and a coal truck this afternoon. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Letcher County. That crash happened on Highway 7 in the Colson community. Troopers say that no one was injured in the crash, but a train wheel slipped off the track and some coal did spill out of the truck. The road reopened a little over an hour ago. In Russell County, police have charged a man accused of letting 2 of his horses starve. William Chumbley was arrested over the weekend in Russell Springs. Chumbley has been charged with second-degree cruelty to animals. And in Bath County, police found drugs and guns inside a vehicle at a McDonald's. Owensville police say they were called out to the McDonald's to help a towing company with 2 people that they say appeared to be high on drugs. And when police started to interview one of the men, a canine was brought out to search the car. Inside, police officers say they found marijuana, heroin, and some firearms.
They are the first police department in the state authorized to use drones. The Somerset Police Department was certified in October to use unmanned aircraft, and they hope to use them sometime next month. Mike Linden shows us just how helpful the drones will be to the department in a story that's new at 5:30.
The Somerset Police Department is the first law enforcement agency in Kentucky authorized to use unmanned aircraft.
Our primary platform is taking aerial photos with it. It's really not designed for much more than that.
Authorized by the FAA, Captain Smith says the 3-pound drone is limited to only 400 feet up in the air. The drone's battery life only allows for about 20 minutes of flight time. Captain Smith says the unmanned aircraft costs right around what a higher-end camera would cost at close to $2,000. But he says in an emergency situation, he would much rather put the unmanned aircraft at risk rather than putting the lives of anyone from the fire department, the police department, or other emergency services at risk.
And if something were to happen to it, it's unfortunate, but the loss of an unmanned aircraft is certainly less severe than the loss of emergency personnel or the general public.
While Captain Smith says some people may think otherwise, he says the drone will not be used to violate privacy and will only be used on a case-by-case basis.
The state laws, federal laws, court rulings, the Constitution all still play a part in this venture, just like it does any other thing we do in law enforcement.
In Pulaski County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Captain Smith says the drone's first flight should come sometime late next month.
She was a respected receptionist in a law firm, but it turns out she was also a thief. This case comes with some very important words of advice for every one of us.
The owner of the law firm trusted the receptionist very much, to the point where she would handle incoming mail for him and things like that.
Trusting Paula Huffner was apparently a mistake for the owner of the law firm in question. Despite working for the firm for 6 years, at some point along the way, Huffner began stealing from her employer.
During such time, financial documents belonging to the owner of the law firm were coming in. And for a long time, approximately 2 years, the identity theft actually went undetected.
Huffner had taken financial documents and opened an online banking account for her employer.
Went in and created an account and dumped money from his personal account into her account.
In fact, she transferred almost $150,000.
And he had money that was sitting idle in account, and he was not monitoring the statements. And that's the message here to everyone, is that if you're going to leave money in account every 30 days when that statement comes, you should really take a look.
Huffner purchased property, motorcycles, boats, jet skis, and even season tickets to college football events.
We did a search of her house, and again, we found all of the evidence relating to the purchases of services. We found washers and dryers, the accounts for the satellite providers.
Postal inspectors say it's important to think of yourself as the personal auditor of your financial accounts.
ask to see the statements that are coming in, ask to see, documents, and ultimately you might not want to mix your personal life with your business life.
Certainly not in that case. Eventually, Huffner confessed to bank fraud and aggravated ID theft. She was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison and ordered to pay restitution of $150,000.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Republican presidential candidates are racing to get into the early debates.
And Lexington Vice Mayor Steve Kay will not be replaced on Commerce Lexington's board of directors. Bill Bryant explains why in the bottom line.
Good evening. The race is on for the Republican presidential candidates to get their way into the early debate, which could determine if they get enough attention to move forward. A new poll from CNN shows billionaire Donald Trump leading the way with 18% saying they support Trump for the nomination. He also indicates there is no cap on the amount of money he might spend if he continues to do well. Trump is followed in that CNN poll by former Florida Governor Jeb Bush at 15%. Other candidates, including Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, are now working hard and hoping to shore up with enough strength in early polling to get one of 10 invitations to the first debate. Paul is in the early primary state of South Carolina today. They're sprucing up the grounds and readying the stage at Fancy Farm for this weekend's political picnic. More tough talk is expected during the speeches by statewide candidates Saturday. During a face-to-face event last week, the major party candidates for governor, Republican Matt Bevin and Democrat Jack Conway, were critical of each other as they touched on a variety of issues. Lexington Vice Mayor Steve Kay will not be replaced on Commerce Lexington's board of directors because there is no provision for doing that. Kay resigned because he supports a higher local minimum wage for Lexington and the chamber does not. CEO and President Bob Quick says he has no intention of changing the city's representation on Commerce Lexington's board.
Our bylaws say that it's the vice mayor, it's the mayor, vice mayor, and the city's economic development director. So we intend to leave that position as it is. If I change it for the vice mayor, then we got to start changing it for everybody else. You might say, well, can I have someone else sit in for me?
Quick's full interview is available on demand at KentuckyNewsmakers.com. It's far less than the major redo that Lexington Mayor Jim Gray had wanted, but we'll have more on the $2.5 million Rupp Arena refurbishment that was announced today. That's coming up later. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
It is designed to help people suffering from drug-related issues. The Hope Over Heroin events have attracted massive crowds in other states, and next month it's coming here to Kentucky.
The two-day event will be at Danville's Millennium Park. Organizers are expecting at least 2,000 people. The event will have a festival-like atmosphere and will bring awareness to heroin abuse and addiction.
Instead of your traditional preacher or a message, it's going to be recovered addicts giving their testimonials about how their lives have been changed through this event.
There is a spaghetti dinner on Thursday night at 6:30 at Junction City Baptist to help raise money for the event. The actual Hope Over Heroin event is set for Friday, August 21st and Saturday, August 22nd.